Craftsman Federal Credit Union Sports Desk.
Well, the ULM Warhawks fell for just the second time this season on the road at South Alabama, despite leading 17-12 at the half. This game came down to tale of two halves. The first half being the Warhawks team we have seen all season long, and the second, a team who simply didn't make enough plays.
You know, in the first half, it was just our mentality and our fight. I mean, you saw complementary football in the first half. Defense is playing, tough against a good team. And offensively, we have some good drives. We miss some things or we don't execute a couple plays, that's okay. We hit the big pass over the top to Devon. We were able to get, basically 2 touchdowns there and able, to get that drive at the end to get points going into half.
The Warhawks gained momentum heading into the half, driving down the field with 1 minute and 8 seconds left to play, and ended the half with a field goal to extend their lead out to 5. But in the second half, things went south. The South Alabama Jags drove 74 yards to retake the lead, and shortly after intercepted a pass which eventually led to another score. ULM was shut down the second half offensively, and defensively gave up 34 unanswered points. Head coach Bryant Vincent says although they were leading at the half, that lead meant nothing. At the end of the day, he says he's got to have his team ready to perform better in the second half of games.
I've got to do a better job of having our team ready to go in the second half, and things are going to happen. Good offenses are going to come out and have drives and score. It's how we respond. It's not how we react. And I think the common thing to do is to react and to get negative. And no, that's not who we are, and that's not how we're built. And our response is we get back in the fight.
Vincent said Saturday's game was a failure, but what is important is how that failure is handled.
True character, true toughness, true mentality shines and steps up in adversity and through failure. And that's what life is. And I want our men, when they leave here and they get hit in the mouth with adversity and failure, it's how you respond and you get up and you show and you stand tall on your foundation.
Things don't get any easier for the Warhawks as they are now set to make a trip to take on the Marshall Thundering Herd.
I've been to Marshall twice personally in 2020 and 2022. The history of Marshall, the fan base there's a lot of tradition. There's a lot of passion for that program and their people. And they take a lot of pride in that. And it's a tough place to play. And at the end of the day, in the Sun Belt, on the road, every team you play on the road in this conference is good. And they're tough, and they're coached well, and you see the same thing in this Marshall team.
The Thundering Herd are 4-3 overall and 2-1 in Sun Belt play. Vincent says this is a good football team, and his guys will need to come ready for war.
You look at Marshall, and they're solid in all 3 phases, at all 3 levels on defense. At all positions on offense, they're really solid in the kicking game. They've got a lot of speed, and they put a lot of pressure on you. This is a team that, you've got to focus on moving the sticks. You've got to focus on executing one play at a time, because this is a good football team, and we've got to go out there and we've got to play our best football this week. So we've got to play great situational football. We've got to stay ahead of the sticks offensively. And we've got to win first down on defense and be really good in situational football. When we get a third down, we've got to get them off the field. And that's a big deal against a really good football team like Marshall.
But as the Warhawks look to become bowl eligible and look to stay in contention to win the Sun Belt West, this is just the beginning of the rest of the journey ahead.
It's the next game. This is a journey. Every team we play out moving forward is a really good football team, and it's a championship game. But if you look at the last 3 or 4 weeks too, you look at all these guys, they've got 10 to 14 to 16 days off before they play us. South Alabama had a 10-day break. Marshall's going to get a 16-day break. Texas State's going to get a 10-day break. Auburn's going to get a 14-day break right now. So that's what it is. And you know what? So what?
And that's all time for sports. Thanks for watching.